This is gonna be a very different type of video, because instead of me doing like a ranking of like a top 5 or doing a record files video, I'm just gonna be talking about a specific thing that I kind of want to express my theories about TDS about. But anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact of how many updates there are currently going to be, pushed out on the TDS. So every other game, or pretty much every game, deserves a ton of updates, especially in the if they're going for like, the long run. Like for an example, there is Minecraft, then there's Fortnite, then there's Call of Duty, and they all have pretty much updates that come at least like every other few weeks to probably every month. However, it really depends how long each update is separated and how long the stretch of each update is, and also like how much description and how many things of content are in each update. So in TDS, we get a decently sizable updates from every now and again that usually equate to either tower rebalances or, like for an example, an event. Like, and as an example, we had that egg event, we had that god-awful April Fool's event, and these events were, pretty okay and nothing too much. However, these events don't really have anything else that can, have beneficial to like the other parts of the game, such as also like, for an example, other specific towers. So one of the things that I want to be talking about is, as an example, to not be making updates that are basically focused on mainly events, because it is completely fine if updates are specifically created to either fix bugs or to essentially do like a rework of things, because TDS for now, what I'm looking at, aren't really doing updates that are mainly those types of updates, but are mainly here's what's new in the game, and also we're doing a bit of fixes or rebalances. And I just want to clarify, if Paradox, or I don't know, anyone related to that, or just anyone at all, they're even watching this, it's okay to release updates that are not new, or just, anything that's part of like a holiday event, or just any specific type of game event. It's okay for specific updates that are created to making the game better, as in updating graphics, or putting in newer models, or, actually fixing up stuff, or, kind of like a maintenance thing. So, as an example of what kind of reworks or like fixes I'm talking about, are these some little bugs, but one of the bugs that has been here for a long time now is this turret bug, which is essentially this noob skin, to where he has no animations whatsoever, like he doesn't even fire at all. He just stands there not doing anything. And this has been here for like a month or two, I can't remember, but it's been here for a very, very long time at this point. And I'm kind of surprised how it's still here. And also, one of the other things that has been here literally ever since the TDS egg hunt event or whatever is the crook boss image icon. It's for whatever reason back to the original icon skin for some reason, and not the updated one. That's kind of a weird thing. I don't know why that's a thing, but alright. And then there's also a little bit of other like small little glitches. For an example, the Accelerator somewhat breaks his arm. I don't even know if I have an image of that, but if I do, I'll pull it up right then. But aside from those bugs, it's okay for like the long run if TDS just makes small little updates every now and again that are essentially, of course, like patch notes or whatever that would come up saying we fixed this, or we reworked this tower, and specific like that. And it's okay if you do those things, since every update does not have to be centered around a massive event, And now that we're done with those types of updates, that what they should be doing or whatever, we're going to be going over what type of other content should TDS be putting into the game. I've recently started to notice how Paradox seems to essentially add in more and more other different types of towers with unique abilities and unique game mechanics, which, is perfectly fine. It is awesome. However, sooner or later, they're going to be running out of ideas and are just like, oh, Jesus Christ, what tower do we add next? Or like, what event do we add next? And I have a very good solution for that. Just add in more gold towers. From the last time a gold tower was introduced, it was in 29th of October 2020. That is essentially 4 years ago, which in today's standards is insane. Like 4 years of not adding another gold tower. That is just fascinating on how they haven't added another one. And you're probably asking me, oh yeah, Dyer, okay, so give me an example. What gold tower should be next? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I was on Google the other day and I actually found this image of a gold shotgunner. So yeah, there's your first little bit of a suggestion. Add a golden shotgunner. Since the shotgunner is an tower, I probably put him like a C to B tier, kind of around there. He's not really that good, but making him a gold version or gold variant would actually make him a lot more picked. But there's your first one, and then you're probably asking what are some other suggestions, and that is obviously the turret, probably like a gold turret skin, or maybe even a golden ace pilot skin. You know, adding a little bit of more diversity in all of these other tower skins and, you know, upgrades. So yeah, add in more gold towers. This is essentially, okay, hear me out. If you add a new gold tower, such as, for an example, the golden shotgunner, this will give literally players content for at minimum 1 month, because not only is it very beneficial for Paradox for, you know, like, oh guys, here we go, a new gold tower, this is new content for you guys, but also since more people and also new people and also old users, also mid-ish users see that there is new content, especially specifically a new gold tower, 100% most likely they will rejoin the game again and grind the shit out of the game in order to purchase another gold crate. And for the people who already have hundreds upon thousands of gold and already just got the skin or golden towers immediately, that's still fine, because they will be spending all of their time and most of their time trying to understand the new golden troop or whatever, how to best use them, probably kind of like what best loadouts to actually use them in, you know, stuff like that. This will pretty much be content for both content creators and for players for literally a month at minimum. But not only will it be beneficial for players, but it will also be beneficial for Paradox themselves, since a crap ton of people are playing their game, mixed with all of the time they're grinding on the game, will pretty much make them a buttload amount of money. And if they just continuously add more and more gold skins, this will essentially be beneficial for both players and Paradox at the exact same time, because new content is essentially, I mean, a godsend for players, especially if it's a golden thing that they haven't seen in 4 years, and for Paradox, making them a shitload of money. So I feel like adding more gold towers should be something of a priority for Paradox.
This is big brain time.
Now that we're done with that, I'm going to be going ahead and talking about the other one, which is exactly the changes to Accelerator. Now hear me out, Accelerator is by far the best tower in the entire game by a long shot. However, throughout the months and years, he has been receiving little changes to pretty much completely changes like what happened right now. And I really have to ask, why are they constantly changing Accelerator when they're not focusing on the engineer? You know, someone who is essentially quote unquote better than the Accelerator. And I'm saying quote unquote better than the Accelerator because they are twice expensive than the Accelerator and require even more requirements in order to unlock them. And you're telling me they are supposed to be better than the Accelerator? Which is kind of funny if you really think about it. Should I think that the engineer should be completely stronger than Accelerator? No, but they should be just as strong as Accelerator, or, you know, kind of in the same genre of like powerfulness than the Accelerator. Yes. However, seeing how engineer is pretty weak, especially in today's times where nobody picks her in games apart from like game modes such as hardcore and the 3 special game modes, is kind of depressing if you really think about it. How like sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not even gonna use engineer, and then when you're gonna go play like, I don't know, polluted wasteland, you're like, all right, come here, engineer, you know. And even if you do have engineer, it's not guaranteed that the players are going to be using her, because most of the time they're going to be like, oh, I'll just use a ranger, or I'm just going to be using a, I don't know, golden minigunner, because they are kind of doing a lot more damage and you get to place more of them down. Because really, the engineer is just a character that is just way weaker than the accelerator, however, is just way more expensive and has a lot more requirements in order to unlock. So in my opinion, they should be focusing on how to make the engineer better and just leave accelerator completely alone, because I mean, he's already insanely good, so why not make engineer, you know, just as good or just a little tiny bit weaker to where, hey, these two towers are actually really good. But instead it's just use accelerator. Why would you go for engineer at all, you know? And then finally we have the final topic I want to go over, and this is the old models and some of the specific models. So there are many maps in the game and also some skins and characters that are a bit outdated at this point. However, Paradox doesn't really seem to be bothered by that, which, you know, is fine since they're pretty much focused on new content. But at the same time, there are specific maps that have already been removed from a long time ago instead of, I don't know, being remastered. Like, as an example, there was this one Lava City map, like an insane mode map, game mode. I don't remember what it was called, but it was something like that, and I actually did like that map, but for some reason, instead of making it better, they just decided to completely remove it, which is just strange. I don't know why they would do that. And also, there are still many maps to this day that are popular, but Paradox just seems to just don't care about that, and instead is just like, well, we're just gonna leave them as old, outdated maps with old modeled of enemies, instead of, I don't know, remastering it by adding a bit more updated graphics and, you know, some much more up-to-date present times designs and stuff like that. And also, one of the other things I do have to kind of make a complaint about is how come the Pursuit Tower doesn't have any skins whatsoever. Like, it's kind of weird on how it doesn't have any skins at all, but you can pretty much make a super easy skin in less than like 10 seconds if you think about it. Here, let me just show you what I mean by this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know, this was just me going over my thoughts and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll probably see you in 3 years. I don't know. Bye-bye.
Because I know you're lost when you run away into the same black holes in